What's up, y'all? You're watching In Your Mind, and I'm your host, Eric, and I think that today I want to inform my more conservative viewers and our more conservative siblings and more conservative people. I want to talk to them about this House bill that was passed by the Republicans yesterday to raise the debt ceiling. And the reason I want to talk to them is because, this is the folks that you guys support politically. This is the folks that you guys want in power to own the libs on culture issues. Because we all know how important culture issues are, right? We all know how vital cultural issues are to the survival of our species. We all know this. It really matters to everybody's survival. Woke culture, CRT banning, all of those things are the most critical things that are going to affect all of our lives the most. Everybody knows this. But your House Republicans that you guys support so much are holding the debt ceiling raising hostage. And what they would like to do, in case you haven't heard, because I know you guys don't pay attention to politics, all you really want to do is own the libs, and you think everyone else is a libtard or a demon rat or whatever other wild thing you guys can come up with. But I want to talk to you about some real factual things. This is what they would like to do. They're talking cutting $30 million from veteran visits to the VA. 30 million. 30 million. In order to stop veterans from visiting the VA. All right? These are the folks that will sit there and during campaign time posture as if they support the troops. And here we have, in order to save from raising taxes on the billionaires and the wealthy of this world, in order to save from doing that, because, income inequality isn't a real thing, and the wealthy are not overly wealthy because they've taken money from the working people and the working poor into their pockets through a corrupt system, because that's not happening. So we can't tax them because that would be unfair. Rather than raise taxes on those greedy, siphoning leeches that do nothing for society, no matter what media will tell you, we would rather cut 30 million in VA visits for veterans. Next things they're talking about is cutting 22% of the VA budget. Veterans Affairs, cutting 22% of the budget. Again, that's two cuts aimed at our veterans. Is this what we're supporting? Your conservative ideals, supporting the troops. This is what that looks like. And you know what's funny? To learn that you're wrong about something, I'm not saying you guys because it's neither here nor there. I mean, as human beings, when we learn that we're wrong about something that we thought was one way, and then we learn that it was wrong and it's another way, did you know our brain registers that as pain? And that's probably why we're so reluctant to accept new information that shatters preconceived notions that we were taught from a generation before who didn't know any better. My generation, Generation X, the latchkey generation, the generation that prides itself on its sarcasm and on its ability to stand on its own because we were left on our own. We're the culmination of the plot to make working people into wage slaves. The ultimate expression of individual freedom that we love so much leads to wage slavery. And if you look at the generation following ours, they're the generations that are not going to make more money than what we made. We're the generation that's not going to make more money than what our parents made. And this is a culmination of a failure of union leadership since the 50s. Because we culminated our peak in the 50s and 60s with our economic power when we had the strongest middle class ever. And from that point, we got lazy, stopped fighting, and stopped demanding, and we allowed corruption to take place right under our noses, and we allowed labor to get attacked and decimated for 50, 60, 70 years to the point that now it has to be rebuilt by Generation Z. We're the same generation that sits here and complains about the millennials while sitting back doing nothing. Because we are the culmination of what the plan was by the owner class back then when labor kicked their ass. We're the culmination of that plan to weaken working people by keeping them dumb, keeping them hungry, and keeping them starving and underpaid so that they keep coming back for work. This is a culmination of that too, because we got to say our country had an election and Republicans won the House of Representatives, right? So we put these folks in charge, and what did they do? They're coming straight for working people, veterans, 30,000, no more visits, 22% from the VA budget. Eliminate funding for housing choice vouchers for as many as 50,000 veterans, another cut for veterans. Kick 300,000 kids out of childcare and Head Start, another attack at working people. Evict 400,000 families from their homes, another attack on working people. Is it a surprise that you're kicking people out of their homes? But at the same time, Airbnbs are doing so well, and at the same time that Wall Street started using real estate as a commodity? Is it a coincidence? I think not. Kick 1 million seniors off of Meals on Wheels. Let's go ahead and attack old people too. I hope y'all are proud, because this is what you voted for. This is what they're supporting. That corporate-owned goon class that pushes culture war that you love so much, that you rah-rah for so much, this is what they're pushing. Kick 1 million mothers and children off of the WIC Nutritional Assistance Program. If you don't have to have SNAP, God bless you, man. Good for you. There's people that need that, that depend on that. Without that, they don't have a meal. And these cold-hearted bastards, rather than tax Bezos, Musk, and these other clowns that do nothing for a living, rather than tax them, they're going to take food out of children's mouths. I hope you're proud. And look it up if you think I'm BSing. If you think I'm making this up, look it up. Eliminate Pell Grants for 80,000 students and reduce grant funding for millions of others. Not to mention they're holding up student debt relief. These are the rich people coming for all of that. Close 125 air traffic control towers. What benefit is there in closing 125 air traffic control towers? These are the towers that communicate with airplanes to coordinate travel. Why would you close? Why would you do that? Scale back rail safety inspections, because we didn't just have a major derailment and we don't have them all the time. Remember East Palestine? Did we forget that was this year? Eliminate funding for 11,000 FBI personnel. I wonder why. 2,000 plus border patrol agents and hundreds of police. Now, mind you, I'm not a fan of the Alphabet Group. I'm not Mr. I love the FBI, CIA, and all these folks. Send manufacturing jobs overseas. If you're in a union, that right there should burn your britches. That right there should send you into a rage. Because I hear you all the time talking about Clinton sending jobs overseas. I hear you all the time. Where you at? They want to send more jobs overseas, manufacturing jobs overseas. Roll back Biden's environmental protections, because our planet is not going through a major climate shift and we don't have to fix this. Deny 750,000 workers job training and employment services. This is the stuff that they won't tell you about because they're busy telling you about CRT, woke, transgender issues, banning books, anything to get you frothing at the mouth instead of getting you to realize what they're really doing, which is stealing right out from under you. I'm sure you got family in the military. You happy that they're going to be cutting their veteran services once they get out of the military? You got to put your emotions to the side and start thinking logical, folks. And I know it hurts because I understand how pain is, how truth is registered in the brain, especially when you fall for lies. But I want to tell you, it's not your fault. It is not your fault. You can't grow up in America, go to school in America, learn everything you learn in America through TV and everything else, and expect to not be brainwashed into thinking corporatism is the greatest thing ever. And sadly, our leaders who should have protected us were busy celebrating wins of their grandparents and letting everything fall apart. And now we're here, left to pick up the pieces, and it's on you, young folks. But I got your back. Just let me know how we can help. My name's Eric. You're watching Union Minded. Don't forget the fight's not left and right. It's up and down. It's going to take class solidarity to win always. Each one teach one. Get out there and reach one. And there could be no union without you and I front and center. Peace.